Hello and welcome to a Bible study with me. Today we'll be continuing our series on the study of the book of Genesis, and we'll be studying in particular Genesis chapter 37. Let's dive in. Verse 1. Now Jacob dwelt in the land where his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan, and this is the history of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers, and the lad was with the sons of Bilal, the sons of Zipha, his father's wife, and Joseph brought a bad report of them to his father. Okay. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age. Also, he made him a tunic of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. All right. Um, First thing first, we see Jacob dwelling in the land of his father, where his father dwelt and died and all that. And they start talking about Joseph immediately. Here we see Joseph, 17 years old, with his brothers, feeding the flocks. And they didn't specify the names of the children, but they specified that they were the sons of Bilal and the sons of Zilpha. Now we know that the sons of Bilal were Dan and Naphtali, and the sons of Zilpha were Gad and Asher. So he was with Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. Joseph and these four guys were together. So Joseph actually brought a bad report against Dan, Naphtali, and Naphtali and the rest, right? Okay. Then we also see here that Israel, Jacob, Israel, loved Joseph more than all his children, which as a parent is not really good to make it obvious. Sometimes it's impossible not to love one more than the other, but it's not good to make it obvious. I'm just kidding. Anyway, he loved Joseph more than the rest of his brothers, and they give a reason here which I can context, but I can also understand. It was like because he was the son of his old age. Mind you, Benjamin, Joseph's brother, was the last child. Like Joseph was not the only son of his old age. Benjamin even came at an older age. Benjamin was the last child. And if you want to contest the fact that okay, Joseph was the son of his favorite wife, Rachel, so was Benjamin as well. Okay. So I just feel maybe for Benjamin it was the only difference was the fact that Benjamin's birth resulted to Rachel's death. It's always common where fathers don't like the children that come as a result of them losing their wives. You see it here. Not illicitly written, but we can deduce from it that he loved Joseph more than Benjamin for that reason. Because if the reason is child of old age, so was Benjamin. Benjamin was the child of his older age self. You understand what I'm talking about? But anyway, this is just my own deduction out of what I'm reading. God will give us understanding of His word in His time as we keep on reading. And anyway, because of this love his father had for him, his brothers even didn't like him. His father was doing too much. He even made him a coat of many colors. Now, verse 5. Joseph had a dream and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him even more. So he said to them, please hear this dream which I have dreamed. There we were binding sheaves in the field. Then behold, my sheaf arose and stood upright. And indeed, your sheaf stood all down and bowed down to my sheaf. And his brother said to him, shall you indeed reign over us? Or shall you indeed have dominion over us? So they hated him even more for his dreams and his words. He could have kept his mouth shut. Anyway, then he dreamed still another dream. and told it to his brothers and said, look, I've dreamed another dream. Okay, you saw that the first time you dreamed they were not happy about it, they hated you more. You must know their hatred was not just only inward. When you hate somebody, your actions, you will know that this person hates you. Like the other person will know. Like, so he knew his brother hated him. And he knew that they hated him more when he told them the first dream. He goes ahead and tells them the second dream. Joseph, just looking for you, see it. um Verse 9, and he dreamed still another dream, and he told it to his brothers, and he said, look, I have dreamed another dream, and this time the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bow down to me. So he told it to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said, his father this time even rebuked him and said to him, what is this dream that you have? Shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed bow down to you, or bow down to the earth before you? Sorry. And his brothers envied him, but his father kept the matter in mind. He could have just talked to his father, only his father, you know, if he really wanted to, I don't know. Anyway, this was all pre-planned by God, so there was nothing he could do differently. Verse 12. Then his brothers went to feed his father's flock in Shechem, and Israel said to Joseph, are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, I will send you to them. And he said, here I am. Then he said to him, please go and see if it is well with your brothers and well with the flocks, and bring word back to me. So he sent him out into the valley of Hebron, and he went to Shechem. Now a certain man found him, and there he was wandering in the field, and the man asked him and saying, what are you seeking? And he said, I'm seeking my brethren. Please tell me where they are feeding their flocks. And the man said, they have departed from here, for I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. So Joseph, oh sorry, and I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. I think up to this point is self-explanatory. His father asked him to go check on his brothers, tell me how they're doing, tell me how the flocks are doing, send word to me. On his way, he didn't find them when he got to Shechem, because they all thought they were in Shechem. He got to Shechem, he didn't find them. He met a stranger there. Do you know, what are you looking for? The man asked him. I'm looking for my brothers. Like, oh, I think I heard them say they are going to Dothan. So he also went to Dothan, and he found them in Dothan. Verse 19. Now, when they saw him afar off, even before he came near them, they conspired against him to kill him. Obviously, they saw him, they spotted him. He was coming with his coat of many colors, bright colors. From afar, they spotted him. There is he, the daddy's favorite son, obviously. And then they said one to another, look, the dreamer is coming. Come, therefore, let us kill him now and cast him to. Let us kill him now and cast him into some pits. Let us now kill him and cast him into some pit, and we shall say, some wild beast has devoured him. We shall see what will become of his dream. But Reuben heard it. Reuben, the first child. I think there was something mentioned about Reuben that we just read in passing. About Reuben having something to do with his father's wife or something like that. Sorry. I'll just quickly take a look. Where was it? Okay, I'm not really finding it. Just the last time we were studying, we quickly just passed it and we didn't really say anything about it. But I think that also preluded to what happens to Reuben in the future. This is it, verse 25, verse 22. And it happened when Israel dwelt in that land that Reuben went in and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, which is the mother of Dan and Naphtali. Yeah, it just happened. We just read it in passing, and I think in the consequences must come out of this. We all know that. But anyway, verse 21, Reuben heard it and devoured him out of their hands, and said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said to them, shed no blood, but cast him into the pit which is in the wilderness, but do not lay a hand on him. He's the other brother, so they all listen to him, that we may deliver him out of their hands and bring him back to his father. His mind was he would trick them into not killing him, then he will also safely bring him back to the father. That was his mind. That was good. But verse 22, it came to pass when Joseph had come to his brother that they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him, and they took him and cast him in the pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it, thank God. And they sat down to eat a meal, and when they lifted their eyes, looked, and behold, there was a company of Ishmaelites, their cousins, right? Coming from Gilead with their camels bearing spices, balm, and myrrh, and on their way to carry them to Egypt. So Judah said to his brothers, Judah, you're supposed to be like Judah, you know. What profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? God used Judah to suggest him going to Egypt. God used Judah. So it had to be Judah. Reuben saved his life. Then God used Judah to propel him into what he wanted him to go. Because we see, he said, Judah was one suggesting, come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brother listened. Then the Midianites traders passed by, so the brothers pulled Joseph up from the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. 20 shekels of silver. Yeah. And they took Joseph to Egypt. This is the first time we're actually seeing transaction of um, selling a slavery or something like the transaction, the amount. Joseph was sold. I think Joseph was the first person that was seen. It's not the first person that would be to have been sold, I guess, because if it was the first thing, it would have been strange for them buying Joseph. But this is the first time I've seen the amount. I think this is significant. 20 shekels of silver. Let's put that in mind. As time goes on, God will reveal the significance of this to us. Verse 29. Now, then Reuben returned to the pit, and indeed Joseph was not in the pit, and he tore his clothes, and he turned to his brothers and said, the lad is no more, where shall I go? Oh, he didn't even know when they even sold him. Anyway, verse 31. So they took Joseph's tunic, killed a kid of goat, and dipped the tunic in the blood. And they sent the tunic of many colors and brought it to their father and said, we have found it. Do you know whether it is your son's tunic or not? And he recognized it and said, it is my son's tunic. A wild beast has devoured him. Without doubt, Joseph is torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his clothes, put sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters arose to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted, and he said, for I shall go down into the grave to my son in mourning. Thus his father wept for him. Okay, the last verse. Now the Midianites, which is the Ishmaelites, had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and the captain of the guard. This is the beginning of Joseph's journey in Egypt. So far, so good. It's interesting. I can't wait for the next chapter. May the Lord bless His word in our hearts. May He give us knowledge to understand and wisdom to light our paths in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next time. We will keep on studying this the story of Jacob, Joseph, and his children. Bye.